Many newcomers in Finland make costly mistakes that result in loss of time, money, and embarrassing moments. And often this just happens because they're not aware of these things. But don't worry, because I will teach you the key mistakes people make, the dreadful consequences of those mistakes, and also the solutions to them, so you'll be more like a Finn, like a local when you arrive. Many people go online to learn that, hey, many people here in Finland speak good English. And even most public organizations, stores, and restaurants offer great service in English language. And at first, life seems good. It's easy to get by and get going, but eventually something bad starts to happen. You notice that it's hard to connect with Finns and their lifestyles. It's like you're not part of the society because you're missing something. And you are, the language. And here's the problem. So many fall in the trap of settling into speaking English only. And to be honest, the people who don't even attempt to learn the language here, Finns will be like, man, like, what is this person doing? But here's the good news. I can bet my sexy Finnish butt that if you just learn even a little bit of Finnish, Finns will be more welcoming towards you and you will get much more out of your experience here. So how do you learn Finnish? What are the resources? Here are a few options. Duolingo, not perfect, but it's easy to get started with. FinishPod 101 offers a wide variety of podcasts, video, and text lessons to help you learn Finnish. Opeton, a new AI tool that practices speaking Finnish with you. Give it a try. And my favorite Finnish language content creators are Lotta from Finnish, Kat from Cat Chats, and Heidi from Finnish with Heidi. Depending on where you come from, Finland can slap you right in the face when you get here. And we don't want to get you slapped. Why is that? Because of our seasons. We have winter, full spring, spring of deception, second winter, third winter, and so on. You get the joke. Because if you come in the winter, you want to make sure you're properly prepared and dressed, including a proper jacket, hat, scarves, shoes, and gloves. And you can check if you can get quality winter clothes in your country, but fear not if you don't. Finland sells these everywhere, all around the year. You can go to department stores like Prisma, Stockmann, Sokos, Excel, Stadium, and even H&M and Zalando sell these. Without forgetting the great second-hand options as well. So not sure what to buy? Just walk into the store and tell, hey, I just moved to Finland, want to buy some proper winter stuff, and they will help you. When you arrive in Finland, you'll be homeless, and that costs time and money. And the problem is that getting your first proper rental home is challenging because the landlords and the rental companies won't rent you anything before you come here. That means that you have to get something temporary for the first, let's say, 2 to 4 weeks. And the options are usually serviced, furnished apartments, which can cost up to 2,000 euros a month. Good options for these are, for example, Forenom, Nolly Studios, and a good old Airbnb. And of course, the good thing is that these are furnished, so you can kind of have a soft landing while you get your registrations, bank accounts, tax cards, and of course, hunting that proper apartment. And some good options for long-term rentals are Sato, Lumo, Nolly Studios again, Facebook groups, there are a lot of expats renting their places out there, and a place called Sherio. Make sure to look into this ahead of time. By the way, if you want more tips, tricks, and resources on how to live like a local in Finland, make sure to join my newsletter, link in the description. Picture this, you're just landed in Finland and ready to embark for your new adventure. But little did you know that there's a bureaucratic obstacle course waiting for you. And many newcomers underestimate the number of key institutions you need to visit at the beginning. For example, EU residents must register their residency at Migri, the Finnish immigration office, and all foreigners need to register their address at the Digital and Population Data Services Agency, DVV in short. And even at the bank, you can't just walk in there to open an account, you need to book a meeting in advance. And when people start to book these meetings, they notice like, dang, the next available slots are like weeks and even months away, because the demand for these services are very high and limited spots are usually available. And this can create bottlenecks on starting your new life here in Finland. And to avoid this headache, start scheduling these appointments ahead of time and when your arrival dates are confirmed. So many of these services allow online bookings, so you can book the meeting ahead of time. So here you can see an example of Migri, the immigration service. And if you're having trouble finding available spots, make sure to check out regularly because there are sometimes cancellations and they can free up free slots. By planning ahead will streamline your new start for your new life in Finland. When you arrive in Finland for the first time, you'll be most likely at Helsinki-Vantaa airport. Excited and confused. And some people make the costly mistake of taking the wrong transportation or not finding their place to their accommodations and wasting a lot of their valuable time and stress and even money. Plus, there's a key item you should definitely pick up right from the airport. More on that soon. So we want to have a clear plan for your arrival here. And the good news is that luckily the Helsinki-Vantaa airport is probably one of the best airports to navigate. Which transport method should you choose? Well, if you have arriving with multiple people, let's say a family of 4 or 5, I definitely recommend getting a taxi. Taxis are usually more on the expensive side, but the cost is definitely justified for the convenience because you can share the costs definitely, and you have a lot big luggages and everything, and you'll get right from the door to door with the taxi here. You can use apps like Bolt and Uber, you're probably aware of this, or you can just grab a regular taxi also from the airport, be running on a meter, but they're pretty much reliable, and the taxi drivers also know their way, so you don't have to kind of be afraid of scams. Other options are getting a bus or train. You want to check these ahead of time from Google Maps to see how do you get from the airport to accommodation, and Google Maps works really well to find out the best public transportation routes in Helsinki and also in other cities. So what about the key item I mentioned? Well, you definitely want to pick up a prepaid SIM card from an R-kiosk, it's like a convenience store, to get mobile data access and internet access, especially if you come outside of the European Union. But if you're an EU person, you not necessarily need this because we don't have roaming fees anymore. You can probably use your local phone plan to access internet without extra cost. There are 2 big money mistakes newcomers make here. First is spending your home country's currency here in Finland, and that of course causes exchange fees. And if you go to these exchange counters, those greedy forex companies take a hefty commissions out of those. So what should you do to save some money here? And another big mess up is bringing cash. Well, in Finland, cash is accepted everywhere, but Finland is a very like a credit card, debit card country, but we do not accept cash for a couple of very essential things. More about that soon. So we want to get you euros the cheapest and fastest way. And I recommend a service called Wise for that because it offers you 3 big benefits. Its service allows you to create a multi-currency account to exchange currency with the lowest fees. They also let you get a debit card that allows you to consume your euros with a payment card, saving your fees, and you can actually order it before arriving to Finland. And most importantly, you have a euro bank account, which helps you to pay rent and, for example, rental deposit, because you cannot pay rent with cash or payment cards here. I have a link for that in the description. This next one is important. It's about your health. So let's say you have a prescribed medicine in your home country and you want to bring that to Finland. And depending on where you come from, you can only bring the medicine to a certain amount of limit. I have a link in the description for that. But when you go to a local pharmacy, you show your prescription, you won't get any medicine. And we have bad news and good news about this. The bad news is that Finland does not recognize any foreign prescriptions unless you come from an EU country. You have this EU, what's it called? Electronic EU prescription. At the time of recording this, it only works in a few selected countries, but there's more to be added in the future. And non-EU guys and girls, you'll be in tough positions because your prescriptions won't be accepted, and that means that you have to get the new one here in Finland. So make sure to bring your prescription and your other medical history with you in an English language preferably, and then you go visit a doctor here and they will prescribe you something similar or equivalent. And for your information, you can only get medicine in pharmacies. You cannot buy them, for example, in a grocery store or bars. Yeah, don't buy medicine bars. But what about the good news? Well, there's 2 pieces of good news here. First of all the prescriptions here in Finland are electronic. So once you get prescribed, it will be registered in this like a database thing, and you never have to bring any piece of paper when you go to the pharmacy, just an ID card to identify yourself. And the second good news is that most medicine costs are partially reimbursed on taxpayer money. So that's good. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you unintentionally stood out and ended up in an embarrassing moment? Well, that happens in Finland all the time by newcomers, and just because they're not aware of some things. For example, Finns value their peace and public and even serenity, I would say. Finns like to be quiet. Occasionally you see these people speaking very loudly on the phone, which pisses the Finns off. So if you want to be loud, go to the karaoke bar. We love karaoke and there's a lot of karaoke bars here. Make sure to do that there. Okay, let's go back to our favorite topic, money. So imagine strolling through the cities of Helsinki, sipping on your coffee, only to realize it costs more than a lunch in your home country. Yep, Finland is an expensive country and can come across as a surprise to some people. From when preparing for the monthly cost in Finland, consider various expenses like rents, utilities, foods, transportation and so on, and also your gross and net salary. More on that soon. And here's a good resource to help you with that, numbeo.com. So Numbeo can help you understand understand the average living expenses in different Finnish cities, and because it includes crowdsourced data on living costs also in different cities. And you can find out their rents, groceries, dining out, transportation and other essentials. And you can also use the Finnish Taxpayers Association's website to find out how much your gross salary will be after taxes. So for example, here on their 2024 table, we can see that if your gross salary is around 4,000 euro, your rough take-home pay is around 2,900 euros. Links in the desk. If your kids move to Finland with you, they'll just hang out at home. We don't want that. Depending on their age, they will go either to a daycare or the Finnish school. And we have Finnish schools, bilingual schools, and also international schools completely in English. How you want to do this, it's completely up to you. If you want to put your kids to a Finnish schools, you can do that. And you probably have so many questions, so I really recommend you to go to the International House Helsinki or the city where you're gonna live and book a free educational consultation session. They offer this for free for like online video call. Just make sure to use this and they can help you with everything related to educational stuff for your children. Make sure to say hello from Aleksi if you do it. And there are so many unintentional cultural mistakes that foreigners do all the time. What are those? Click here to find out.